Hi, it's Lord Magicus, and we're going to play Merfolk in Legacy. Alright, so for today we have a few different changes that we're going to try to this list and see how it goes. So let's talk about them quick. First things first, we're going to try playing Waterlogged Groves alongside our Caverns and Mutavaults. This card is performed pretty well in Modern. I'm not sure how it's going to do in Legacy. I think it'll be fine. When I played Simic a little bit with fewer basic islands in this, it was still okay. I think the fact that it can cycle means it Wasteland's not going to hit it a lot, so hopefully it'll be alright. And maybe it'll just give us a little bit more game against the grindy decks like Grixis, where we can sacrifice lands for cards in the late game. Yeah, so hopefully the pain is not going to matter that much, since our mana base is otherwise painless. It's pretty good. A lot of decks are just running a ton of fetches anyway, so I don't think that we're at like a significant disadvantage for that. So we still have more basics in most of the decks, and yeah, we're still taking less pain than most of them too. So we'll see if Waterlogged Grove helps at all, or if we need to trim back. Like, we could go anywhere from 0 to 4 in this list, depending upon how prevalent Wasteland is and how much of a problem it might be. Yeah, it also, the nice thing is it helps us play around Choke a little bit if we see that, so that way we can cast cards like our Echoing Truth, because this is our only source of blue mana for spells that that are not Merfolk that will not die to a Choke. So yeah, we'll see if it helps. And then the other big change to our main deck here is going to be Coralhelm Commander. We've played with this card in Modern a few times. It's actually really good, and a lot of times it gets played alongside Chalice of the Void, because once you turn off stuff like Lightning Bolt and Fatal Push, then that lets you just dump a ton of mana into Coralhelm, and it gets ridiculous. I think that Coralhelm's going to help us play around stuff like Plague Engineer a little bit better, as this thing becomes a Lord, and it becomes really big on its own. It means we're not as vulnerable to sweepers, since we can put more power on the board by just pumping mana into this instead of having to play more creatures. And it also has flying, which is relevant against some of our harder matchups like the Merit-Lige decks and like Death and Taxes, where Flicker Wisp is going to attack in the air a lot. So I think that it could be relevant. And it can also, yeah, having flying makes it able to attack over things like Thought-Knot Seer if we come up against those decks too. So I think Coralhelm is a fine addition to this deck. We'll see how well it plays. Otherwise, the rest of the main deck's pretty standard. Player 1 Echoing Truth in the main, just as like a random out to something like Ensnaring Bridge, where it just randomly kills Merit-Lige. On the sideboard, we have another Echoing Truth. I like having at least 2 of these in the 75, sometimes more. But 2 is fine because we still kept our 2 Vensers here. We're going to try 3 Force of Negation, just so that way we can shore up stuff like the Show and Tell decks just a little bit more. Any of like the big combo decks where it's like they're going to try to force check you in turn 1. Yeah, having more cards like this I think helps. And Force of Negation synergizes with Coralhelm a little bit more, because since we don't have to put as many blue creatures on the field in order to keep adding power to the board, it lets us hold more cards in our hand to force with. So I think that it'll be okay with this card. Kept our 3 Dismembers and our 2 Karakas. Dismember deals with stuff like Monastery Swiftspear, Thought-Knot, like Mother Runes, like those kind of cards. But Karakas is our tech against Merit-Lige and Emrakul, Gristlebrand, and all that nonsense. Yeah, the other card that we're going to try here is Leyline of the Void. This card was just reprinted in the last core set. Still kind of expensive on MTGO though. I think they're like 15, 16 a piece. But Hogak has been an area where we struggled a little bit, and one of the things that I want to try to do is play Leyline against that deck to see if we can shore up that a little bit. It's going to be really good against like Reanimator and the Dredge decks, or in addition to regular like Hogak. So I think that is fine. We can even bring it in against lands too, because they actually use the graveyard quite a lot in that deck with Life from the Loam and Punishing Fire. I can say one of the problems that is especially against Hogak, if you play Chalice of the Void on 1, which you normally want to do because Chalice on 1 is very good against that deck, Unfortunately, then if you top deck things like Relic of Progenitus or Grafdigger's Cage, the Chalice is going to stop you from casting them against their deck. So, and it they also are playing stuff like Shenanigans in the deck now, which can help blow up the artifacts. However, it's a lot harder for them to deal with stuff like Leyline of the Void, which, if you can mulligan to it, the Leyline will just absolutely wreck them. They have no access to the graveyard, so like none of the recursions online. And then you should be able to beat them pretty easily, because they're not going to have a good way of adding a ton of power to the board. Hogak is basically impossible to cast as long as Leyline sticks in the board. So, and the one of the main cards that they might try to use to remove it is Nature's Claim, which conveniently Chalice synergizes against, because if you put Leyline out and then Chalice in one, then they can pretty much never get rid of this. So now the only downside is obviously we cannot cast this card at all. So if we draw it in like turn 2 or later, it's totally dead in our hands, and nothing we can do about that. At that point, the only thing we can do with it is to not totally get wrecked by drawing a dead card is just throw it away to Benthic Biomancer. And I mean, that is a pretty reasonable choice to have Ben in the deck with a card like Leyline, because now, yeah, like even if we do draw it later, we have it, at least it's not like we skipped a draw step. We can still cycle it later to Ben to draw a different card. But it is going to be one of those very high impact cards that dodges a lot of stuff like Shenanigans, and it's a very powerful hate card, but it's a very high variance card too. So you have to mulligan to this. If you don't have it in your opening hand, it's totally useless in this deck. So hopefully we won't need it, but if so, then hopefully we'll see it in our openers, not like after that. But otherwise, yeah, I think this is going to be pretty solid. The only thing that I regret a little bit is that I like having stuff like Relic of Progenitus against Ren and 6. The Relic will help keep that under control more, whereas Leyline doesn't really do as much. I don't think that I want to bring in Leyline against that deck. It's not quite as good. Because, I mean, they can... It's not a deck that's like totally reliant in the graveyard to the point where I want a card to mulligan to a card like Leyline, because they're all about grindy value, and if you go to like 5 or 4 cards looking for Leyline, like you're not going to beat them. So a card like Relic, on the other hand, like it's fine to draw it at pretty much any time, because you can always cycle it for a card and like still disrupt their plan of like Tarmogoyf and Ren and 6 and maybe Snapcaster Mage. So in that one particular match, I think that I'd rather have Relic, but I think overall, like, Leyline's going to do more against the decks we're going to have a harder time with, so I'm willing to try this and see how it goes. So, with that said, let's go play some Legacy. So, let's get our Legacy League here. Fishies. And play ball. So, let's see how this goes. I feel pretty good about this deck. I think that Coral Helm is going to make a significant difference. Some people in the Merfolk Discord have tried it already and reported that it's worked pretty well for them, and I believe that. I think Coral Helm is a very powerful card, and it's a lot better than Phantasmal Image against all the Plague Engineer decks. I don't want to be going wide with True Name. I'd rather be going tall with creatures like that, so... Alright. Yeah, and there's definitely not going to be a video on Sunday. It'll probably be like Monday or Tuesday when you see it. So, like I said, I'm away this weekend, and this is going to have to wait. I need vacation time. But at least we'll have this to hold us over till then. Hopefully we get to play a game soon. That would be nice. One second, I'm going to grab my phone in case I need to look things up while we're playing. There we go. Alright. What are we up against? Well, we're on the draw, so see how that goes. I think the play draw matters a lot more in Legacy. This hand is okay. We'll keep it. I really hate that I have these two cards with Coral Helm, though. This might be one like Coral Helm might be a reason that maybe I don't want all four of these, but alright, well this looks like it's probably the Merit Lodge deck. Oh fuck, that's not what I wanted to see there either. We're going to take a ton of damage off of our lands, but if this is Merit Lodge, then it'll... Oh no, this might be... Well, I mean, this might just be like punishing Jund or something. Well, if this is Jund... Let's see. Are you mulligan at all? He mulligan to 6, but this Confidant can get him back in the game. I don't know if I want to use this Echoing Truth just yet. Question is, how do I go about this? One strategy might be to play Master and get in damage now. The other might be to play Silvergill and get card advantage going on quickly. So the life loss will matter against this deck a lot more, I think. But they could just play Plague Engineer next turn, so maybe this is a good place to use Master the Pearl Trident. Normally I'd want to play Silvergill right away, but I think here, because of the threat of Plague Engineer, I may want to play Master, so it's gonna hurt. A lot of decks are just main decking one or two engineers. Okay, so Duress is going to probably eat our Echoing Truth. Duress makes me think this is probably more likely a Merit Lodge deck, though. Yeah. And in that case, then them Duressing this Echoing Truth is fantastic for them. However, this Coral Helm does buy us a turn against Merit Lodge. Yeah, okay, so that definitely. So now we're facing the possibility of crop rotation into Thespian Stage, copying it. So what do we want to do here? We can't level this up to a flyer just yet. I think what we're going to do is we're going to attack with these, and then we'll play Silvergill Adept, probably, because I think we might be in have to force a will range. Well, the problem, though... that's tough. We actually might want to adapt this Benthic Biomancer, or adapt this Biomancer instead. We may not have time to do this, because yeah, if we do this, they could just crop rotation in response, and then we don't have a way to stop Merit Lodge from killing us. So if we want a chance, we may need to dig for the forest on the fly. So yeah. And I think here our life total doesn't really matter, since we know now we're getting hit for like 20 or nothing. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought he would do. That's fine. So I think here I will play the island, so they do have perfect information on our hand, but I'll also adapt this at the end of turn. And then next turn I can play Coral Helm and make it a flyer. Yes, and this is exactly why we did this. Because now we're in danger here. Well, we're unfortunately not going to get to untap. Or no, they can't turn it into a creature now, but Trickster is actually very strong now. Okay, so they can make Merit Lodge at instant speed. Trickster was a good draw, though. Wasteland can blow up a grove, but I think they're gonna need to. They need it for mana so they can make Merit Lodge. Ooh, that's. I don't know why they would do that now. That seems. I guess unless they're trying to play around something like Stifle. So here, I guess what we want to do is we'll play Coralhelm Commander. They could have another crop rotation too, so that's a problem. Yeah, I don't think that we can afford to play around it though. I'm not going to attack. I think we just got to do this now. Hope they don't have 2 crop rotations. We could have leveled this up, but like I don't feel like that's a. All right, yeah, we're fucked because they do have it. So they had 2 of them and only 3 cards left in hand, so that's fine. What it does, well, if they had, the problem is if they had crop rotation anyway, then leveling up Coralhelm didn't do anything, so we couldn't play around it at all. We're just kind of taking the line that puts the most power on the board and gives us the fastest clock. But unfortunately, they had everything that time. They had the duress for the truth, and they also had, you know, the double crop rotation to get out Merit Lodge with protection. So, well, it is what it is. The good news is that we have a lot of cards that are good against their deck. So, probably need the forces and the fence. We don't want this. True Name is going to be slow against their deck. They probably are going to bring in some number of Plague Engineers, unfortunately, but that is what it is. We need to keep Trickster, so we need to cut 4 more cards. This could be a spot where we want to cut Benthic Biomancer. The other option is cutting Silvergill Adept, which this is a strategy we've done in Modern a fair bit. I think maybe we can try cutting Silvergill here, because if it doesn't, it still dies to Plague Engineer just the same. But the thing is, Ben fits on our curve a little bit better, I think, and I'd rather be playing, you know, any of the rest of these 2 drops instead of that. I could also side out some lands here, but since I have Venser, I want to have 22 lands so I can theoretically hardcast this at some point. I think this is okay. Because, yes, Silvergill is not good in games where that they're not going to go very long, so... I mean, this isn't terribly great, but I guess we're going to keep it. Alright. I mean, if they Thoughtseize us, that doesn't really matter, because we can counterspell things for a very long time. Sure, need Thoughtseize. I have 3 forces in my hand. You can only take away 1 blue card. I imagine they should take away Master of the Pearl Trident at this point. This card probably is the most like we can actually cast this, so I think they should. They took Force of Negation. All right, that's maybe they have like Cabal Therapy or something. Well, since they know about that, we'll do this. And we're hoping to draw another blue card next turn. I don't think there's a way they can, even if they like crop rotation for this turn, they can't like put Merit Lodge in play, so. We'll just, again, we're going to put the fastest clock out there. Sure, that's fine. I guess we got to play that so that way we can hold up Venser. Yeah, they can eat a Force of Will. Yep. Alright, well, this sucks because now we have no clock, and can only cast either Venser or Force. I cannot cast both at the moment. They might be at the point where they're just going to start. Alright. I want to cast this Benthic Biomancer at the moment, but I don't know if I should. It might be better off to wait one turn until we have like another blue card or something to adapt in hand with it. Because I don't want to adapt any of these cards away. Because right now I can cast Venser and Force if I need to. Yeah, that's fine. If they just waste all their time trying to like spend 30 mana on this, we can still bounce it with Venser. That's fine. I guess pretty much anything we draw with it we'd want to play, right? No, I don't think I want to do this right now. Let's just hold things up. We'll do it on their end step. Assuming we don't need to cast this. Yeah. This is not a terribly good spot. Yeah, sure. That's fine. I don't know if they have any, like, they'd have to Thoughtseize this away, probably. So just have a bunch of mana sources in their hand. They must have just drawn this land. Or no, it's a Urborg, so that makes sense that they didn't do anything with it. Well, that's good. We can play that and at least start attacking with it, maybe. Alright. Okay. Yeah, they're just going to keep removing counters. That's fine. If they ever like try to Thoughtseize this thing away, then we can still bounce it. Yeah, I guess. Yep. Yeah, they can remove 2 counters. That's fine. Yep. Discarded another Dark Depths. His hand's got to be pretty poor. Well, that's good, because now that we have Echoing Truth up, now we have an extra answer to this thing. So, attack. If I attack for 6 this turn, is there any way I can still kill him the following turn? It'd be 6 to... I think we can play Benthic Biomancer here, right? Just trying to think about how the math works out. So I need 1, 2, 3... Well, the thing is, if I play Benthic Biomancer, then... Alright. I could just leave up Force and Echoing Truth. Alright, that's fine. Alright. puts them at 8, which means also a Lord kills them. So they don't have enough to triple remove a counter from it this turn. So we might just be using Venser to bounce it. Plague Engineer. 3 cards in hand, huh? I don't think that matters very much. Like, The question is, do I want to force this or just... Well, no, I think I have to force it. All right. Because if I just bounce it, they can just replay it, so... Alright, well, we don't have to kill them this turn. We just have to keep up Venser. Because they die next turn. Alright. So here, I think I'm going to bounce this back to their hand. Alright, they had nothing. That was their only way to try to get there. So yeah, we saw Plague Engineer was a thing. So we played patiently with interaction, and that seemed to work out. Alright, I don't really feel like there's much I want to change here. So we'll just run this back and hope for the best. This hand actually has some pretty good interaction here. We can go Coral Helm and then start pumping it up. And we also have the Caracas, which we can leave up as long as we want to. Sure. Yep. Vampire Hexmage. I do believe we have to force this. Do I? Yeah, I am gonna force it. I mean, they already know I have force in my hand, so I may as well use it. Alright. I don't want to, because they can just play Dark Depths next turn, but this way, there's no way that Merit Lodge attacks next turn, so if we need to, we can play Caracas. Alright. So they don't have Thespian Stage up before it. They can start removing counters if they want. They can't Thoughtseize the Caracas away. Okay, that's fine. They can't play the stage this turn. So they have it in hand. I think this is okay, though, because we could... Next turn they can play stage and make Merit Lodge, but we can just Caracas it back to their hand. So this is where we do have to play Caracas. So we can actually level up Coralhelm and just attack, because if they make Merit Lodge, we'll just bounce it back to their hand. So is there any reason we need to hard cast Force of Negation? Maybe. But I think the problem, if we have to tap this Caracas, then I don't think it matters, so... Alright, that's fine. So he's not going to be able to make Merit Lodge as long as this is on the board. Yeah, you have Confidant. We couldn't deal with that anyway, so... that's actually okay. So we can play Mutavault and Lord of Atlantis. And just make our clock better. Alright, well, drawing another Dark Confidence is actually kind of dangerous to them. I guess. I'm not going to attack. They're probably just going to block with it, so I think what I want to do here... I don't want... Alright, I'm going to play the other Mutavault. I will attack with Mutavault. If they want to double block, that's fine. I think they're going to... Honestly, though, maybe I should attack with Lord of Atlantis, too. Yeah, we'll do that. Because I want to be able to hold up force if at all possible. They have 3 cards in hand. It could be like Abrupt Decay or something. If they want to trade with Lord, that's fine. Otherwise, taking 5 is very dangerous when they're losing life to Confidants. Alright, that's kind of what I figured would happen. Plague Engineer would really suck if they find that. Crop Rotation. So we do have to force that. Alright, well, the problem is now... Yeah, they're gonna take force no matter what. So they can Crop Rotation for Wasteland and kill off Caracas at any point now. That's pretty good, though. What I think it does mean is that we're gonna... If we can't double attack with the Mutavaults, because if they get Caracas, or no, I'm sorry, if they get Wasteland, they'll blow that up. So I'm just gonna attack with 1 Mutavault. Make them think I drew like another Force of Negation or something. Alright, so they have 2 Crop Rotations in hand. They only have 1 mana to do it, though. That's interesting. So they could, if they want to go for it right now, they have the ability to do it. Another Confidant. Sure. So, what do I do here? I could Echoing Truth these back to their hand. Then attack, but we're going to lose to the Crop Rotation if they get the Wasteland. I don't know if there's a much better plan, because the chances that they're going to kill them, like they're just going to trade with the 2 Mutavaults, so I think I have to. Like, I don't see a better way to try to win the game right now. Attacking with these or into these is not good, and I do not want to let them draw 2 cards, because yeah, they definitely just get Wasteland. I think we need to draw. Okay, that's fine, I guess. We can give it protection from blue. Alright, well, they know about this. I guess we'll name Merfolk. I don't think I need to attack here right now. don't know I drew this. They have to have at least one Wasteland in their deck to get rid of this, though. I'm surprised they haven't just gone for that. I don't think an attack right now is very good. If I attack, then they're just going to trade and I have no clock. I don't know, maybe if they draw, like, 2 Sylvan Scryings or something, that could help. Nope, Verdant Catacombs and Plague Engineer. Alright, well that's rough. Maybe they can die to these Dark Confidants, though. That might be our line. They're not doing anything yet, so... Oh no, they have to discard to Mox Diamond. Never mind. Sorry, I thought... doing something else. This is a bad spot. I think our opponent can win the game at pretty much any time they want to. Ooh, interesting. No blocks. Having chosen to not win the game yet is kind of interesting. Yeah, you know, I probably should have... If I'm not attacking with the Mutavaults, I probably should have done that first. So let's see. I can put them to 4, but that, yeah, I don't like that plan a lot still. I think what needs to happen is I just need to adapt this thing. What else could I draw? Maybe another Benthic Biomancer. Or like Echoing Truth. Yeah. Alright, it looks like they're gonna go for it now. They found Wasteland, so we are in a hell of a lot of trouble. We have to find Caracas or Echoing Truth. That's not gonna do it. We're dead. We have lost... Like, they had it the whole time. Like, it was just a matter of when they wanted to do it. They might be trying to figure out if they can go for it, or if they can wait one more turn because of the Confidants. I think that, like, 6 life, you have to just do it now. Yeah. Alright, we've lost. Oh, that sucked. That match is very hard. We had some interactive cards, but, like, that was still rough. Didn't have enough. I think the Chalice helps a little bit. If you can put it on 1, it turns off a lot of the dangerous things like the crop rotations and like the discard spells. But they do board in Plague Engineer, so you have to be careful of that. And they, yeah, having the, especially like crop rotation in this Seregi step, like that is very dangerous to us. So I don't know, that's rough. We lose that match a lot of the time because we just don't have good interaction. But alright, well, we're on the play. This is... I don't know how I feel about this hand. Like, this is a powerful card. We have Mutavaults to attack with. There's no guarantee we're going to get to 3 mana for this, though. I think we can do a little better. This is actually... I think this is better. Keep... I guess... It's very hard. I guess I'm going to put Trickster in the bottom. It's alright. What are we up against? Oh, not this again! Oh, this could be Maverick. Oh my god, 2 non-blue decks in a row. That's not where we really want to be with this. It's attack, I guess. True Name is probably good here, though. I'm just afraid they're going to play like Plague Engineer and wreck us again. Or even like Wasteland is really strong. Well, that's helpful, I guess. If they do anything dangerous, we can force it. So what are you doing with white mana? You want Wasteland. Yeah, see, that's going to make life rough. Okay. That's interesting. This looks like a matchup where I probably want True Name, but I don't know. I feel like the Force might be necessary if they play like Stoneforge Mystic. I might have to pitch one of these to a Force. Because we need to cast this as soon as possible. We're very vulnerable to like Plague Engineer. Yeah, that's fine. Why did you take the damage first? Were you afraid I was just going to play like Master of the Pearl Trident or something? This could be like Knight of the Reliquary coming. Which that we definitely have to... I think we do have to force a Knight if we see it. Tireless Tracker. Ah, oh, fuck that. It's card advantage. They will draw a ton of cards off of this, and we don't have a good way of stopping it right now. Yeah, I hate pitching this card in this matchup, but we're very far from casting it. Really need to draw more lands. This Coral Helm... this Coral Helm might actually be better than Master right now. Alright, come on, what's going on? Protection from blue. Oh, that sucks. We do not have a good way of dealing with this, but I guess that's fine. There are worse things for us to... If we can get True Name out, we can go past this. Yep, it's fine. Because if they play Stoneforge, we have to counter that. It's way more important. We're just not in a particularly good spot right now. Didn't attack means maybe something like Abrupt Decay is in hand. Alright, well, I guess we're passing the turn. Did not draw a land. The forests are keeping us in this game because they're not like resolving like the huge bomb cards yet. But unless we draw lands, we're not gonna beat this deck because they have way too many things like this that are capable of just burying us. Cannot keep 2-for-1ing ourselves forever. This looks like maybe they have Plague Engineer in hand and they're considering casting it. Yeah. It's a clock. It can untap itself too. That's kind of shitty. God damn it. That's not really good for us. Alright. I hate doing it, but yeah, that has to be a thing. Because again, like, the important stuff is like Stoneforge and Knight of the Reliquary. The stupid mana, like 1 or 2 mana dinks are like not what we need to be countering here. This is bad. With one island, like, this is becoming a problem very quickly. And this is going to mean that we're going to have to start countering things fast. Alright. Kaya, Ghost Assassin. Yeah, that thing is going to hurt us a lot. I guess it's gotta be... None of these are good. I think Coral Helm's the only way that... Is it like... none of this is good because even Master of the Pearl Trident's not going to help us that much, but... I gotta get rid of Coral Helm here. We don't have the mana to really use him. We have to counter that, because... Alright, well... It's not nothing, but this thing can actually block, you know, something that Mother of Runes puts into play. You can still bounce this forest, untap this, and block with it, so we cannot attack. If there's any luck, then next turn we can draw another blue source and play True Name. And maybe we come... Oh, fuck, we're dead. Fuck. Every time that we play something, they just have the fucking wasteland. Nope. We're gonna die. There's just a lot of ways that we can die here. Like, these are the kind of matchups I kind of want Simic Merfolk for, because... Oh my god, why? Why? This is not fair. No, I'm not doing anything except dying. Yeah, Simic, I think, is a little bit stronger in this kind of match. Just because it has more lords to put more power in the field. And also, having green cards and blue cards makes Mother Runes a lot worse. Okay, well, if we don't counter this, we die. That card will instantly kill us. Yeah, whatever. This is a little bit slow. I don't think it's going to matter. We're dead in 6 turns. I don't think even if we top deck lands now, we can't kill them fast enough. Oh my god. No, we're just like totally mana screwed here. Not even close. Alright, you know, that I've seen enough. You know what? No. I want to see what they get with this, and then we'll concede. I want to see if they show me, like, Sword of Fire and Ice. Alright, they do it. That's fine. It's very, very dead. This is the roughest start we've ever had to one of these leagues. Alright, well, Dismember and Echoing Truth have to come in. Caracas doesn't really do much against this deck. Chalice is actually not terribly good. So we only really want Chalice for the blue decks. I guess Caracas is fine, but what do I take out for that? Maybe because I know they have stuff like Abrupt Decay Maybe Aether Vial can come out for like 2 Caracas. Or Venser. Venser's actually fine too. You know what? We'll try that. We'll bring in Venser and Caracas. Just because does this really help that much though? I mean, extra mana is good to put into Coral Helm, and it also helps us set this up. I don't know, this is kind of like a mid-range deck, and I don't... Like, Aether Vial's a terrible top deck versus them. So I'm going to say that maybe we don't need it. Well, this hand is absolutely terrible. This is better. It's not much better, but it's better. They kept 7 cards. We're going to put Cavernous Souls in the bottom. Play Silvergill. Basic Forest, that's interesting. Alright. Now we draw all the lands when we already have 1,000,000 lands in hand. Every time. That's how it always goes. If we draw True Name Nemesis, that would be very good. But Sylvan Library. Well, that's unpleasant. Dismember's fine. Play Mutavault. They might want to Wasteland this if they find it. If they don't Wasteland it, it means we can attack for a lot, so the Sylvan Library gets less value. Alright. I mean, it basically means they get to, like, brainstorm kind of every turn. They're drawing 3 cards, and they're just picking the best one of the top 3. And if they like more than one of the cards, they can just pay the extra 4 life. Guess a Lord would be fine. That's okay. Alright, what's your plan here? The Ranger I have the Dismember for, if you can, like, flash that in or something. Does it have flash? It has protection from blue and flying. No, Abrupt Decay is okay. And play another island, play Benthic Biomancer. Hope that they don't play Plague Engineer, which very possibly could happen, but again, we're in a situation we need to just put pressure on them while they don't have a board presence, so that way they stop getting value out of this thing. So I'm going to attack them for 6 next turn. That's going to make it very hard to... they're not going to be able to draw extra cards with this when they're at 4 life, so... If they just play, like, Knight of the Reliquary, well, that's terrible. Now Knight's not going to die anymore. However, we can attack into it, and if they block, then Dismember it. That could get rid of it that way. Oh, no, don't do this to me. This card is going to murder our lives. Just, wow. Alright, well... fantastic. How did I know that was going to happen? This card is everywhere, and today is just not our day. We normally do very good with Legacy, but this is now the second match in a row we've seen this. Alright, so I think here I'm going to play Waterlog Grove. I'm going to crack it. That's it. That's okay. They might have swords to plowshares, and that would suck. But we need to attack with the Mutavault while the Wasteland is tapped. And unfortunately, we need the Biomancer to pitch to Force of Will if they play like Stoneforge or some ridiculous nonsense. They have like a ton of cards in hand, and they can very easily just play something that ruins our life, so having the Force online is important at the moment. Yep. If they don't play anything, we could maybe play Biomancer. Yeah, that's fine. Play Biomancer and adapt it. I think the odds we can draw another land are probably better at the moment, so we may need to pitch the truth to this, but I want to be able to cast the Venser, but not at the expense of having to lose the blue card for Force. Yeah, you should have did that in response. You have 4 cards in hand, so that's a plus. Alright, well we do have to counter this. Because if we don't counter this, then there's no way to come back. It's the only time we're going to get rid of it, and we don't have a board that can go past it right now. So I think things just have to kind of go right for us, but there's a lot of really bad cards that can just ruin us in their deck, and they can dig through a lot of their deck for them right now. I mean, like, they've already played like 3 or 4 of them. 5 of them, I guess. That's also not a terribly good one for us. Yeah. Drawing a land here would be okay. We can take like 1 hit from this thing. Alright, well, we're fucked. We can't cast any of these cards now, and we're in a position where we're dead in 3 turns. They're just digging through the deck. This is not looking good. They got totally mana screwed and wrecked in game 1, and do not have the right cards to get through this. I took a chance against them not having Plague Engineer in that one particular turn, and they of course did. Remember the most important rule of Magic, never do they not have it. Yeah. That's bad. This is still really dangerous because, like, I don't know, maybe we can mount some kind of offensive here. They're attacking for 9 damage at the moment, and it's probably going to be more than that, I imagine. If they put another fetch land into the graveyard, then we're screwed. So I really, and we can't even cast Venser off of this Waterlog Grove. So I may have to just block this Tireless Tracker. No, that's okay. Wasteland's going to deal with this. Yep. Maybe Waterlog Grove is not what we want in a Coral Helm deck. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, our options are running out now. We're getting attacked for 10. Don't have a good way to try to kill them. Or no, we're getting attacked for 11, actually, because they can crack this. Yep. And I still have 2 mana up with Gaia's Cradle. So part of the problem right now is that if I don't chump block this, I will go to 1 life, which means that all they'd have to do is use the Knight of the Reliquary to get the Saragi Step or whatever to give the Tireless Tracker protection from blue, and we can't block it. So our only line maybe to come back is drawing a land or a True Name Nemesis. I mean, that's actually okay, because now if they attack with that, we can flash in Trickster and eat it in combat. But this Tireless Tracker still threatens to ruin our lives. And if they have like a single removal spell, then we're still in a lot of trouble regardless. But this gives us a chance, because now we can let them attack, try to Trickster this, make it a 2/2, and block it. Trade Trickster with this, take 4, maybe 5 damage off of this thing. And then if we draw a land or a True Name, we're still in it. I mean, it's a very, very long shot, but what else can we do? That's all we can do at this point. So let's try. Okay. I mean, if they has a removal spell, we're just in trouble. Alright, maybe not. Didn't remove it, so... Alright, well that's half of the plan. Now we have to have the other half go well. Oh, that is so bad. Just make it a 4/4. Yeah. Gain 4 life. Okay, that's interesting. I think you make it a 4/4 because the problem is, like, now I have a chump blocker, and this still doesn't... Okay, so this still doesn't do it, though, because what happens here? I play Lord of Atlantis, I chump block Tireless Tracker, and we go to 2, but, like, we're still going to die after that. I don't know, maybe we draw another Trickster and it buys us a turn? Who knows? Like, yeah. This is just still, like, pitifully losing. Because now not even True Name Nemesis is going to be enough. Because he can put us to 2, and then even if we play True Name, we can't block this thing because this will just kill us. So this is now at the point where I think we're officially locked out of this game. I don't believe there's any sequence of draws that's going to save us at the moment. Like, I don't know, maybe Trickster down this and chump block with this thing, but that seems incredibly unlikely. We've already used a Trickster, so there's only 2 left. Mm-hmm. Why would they not just crack the clue and let us, or try to draw the removal spell? That seems poor. If they play any other creature, we just lose. Well, that's Kaya. Surely. Great. Alright, you know what? Yeah, we're dead. Because anything they find off of that kills us. Well, that was terrible. Yep, Maverick just wrecked us. Yeah, that's another deck that, Adopted Plague Engineer got way better. This is also pretty unlucky for us, too, because we normally see, like, 4 blue decks and then, like, 1 non-blue deck. But just starting off with, like, 2 non-blue decks is not how Merfolk wants to go. Our deck is specifically good against blue, and it is not as good against not blue. In fact, I would say it's probably unfavored versus most of the not blue decks. We're generally on the True Name Nemesis to just like stall until we can find a way to win plan against those decks, but with the addition of Plague Engineer, like, it just makes it so hard now because True Name does not do anything against Plague Engineer. That's rough. Yeah, and unfortunately, like, Coral Helm wasn't really helping us without mana to use it, so I don't know. The Waterlogged Groves have not seemed terribly good to me so far. But I mean, they might be better against the blue decks, but the thing is we don't really need help against those decks. We need help against these decks, and if they're playing more Wastelands here, yeah, it's probably worse. So we might have to try playing this deck without the Waterlogged Groves next time. I don't know if I believe in it for Legacy. I don't want to have like that few basic lands. Especially if we're going to try to get to 3 mana for anything, like, we need to like really be able to go basic, basic, non-basic in order to do what we're trying to do, or otherwise Wasteland just prevents us from ever getting there. Well, those are the perils of trying out new tech, so sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. This is taking forever still. Come on, I have to finish this league because I have packing to do for my vacation. And I want to make sure you guys have stuff to watch, so. Even if it is, like, getting thrashed by, like, you know, black-green decks. We were at least close versus the black-green depth deck. I mean, I think that we're probably as teched against it as we could be, but, like, Maverick is just going to be hard every time. There's not really any way we can beat that deck consistently. On the play. Alright, let's do it. Alright, well, we have Chalice of the Void and Force of Will. I think this is actually a pretty good hand. We'll keep. Alright. Merfolk. See, opponent might just be reading what the hell Benthic Biomancer does. That's fine with us. Defcon M. Okay, I don't know what Defcon M is, but I thought it was always a number, but I guess, you know, maybe it's a Defcon level that's so high that, you know, it had to go through the alphabet. Oh, alright, so this is probably, like, the 4-color deck. Because there's not many decks that want to play Badlands in it. So I would expect that this turn our next turn we might see Renin 6. And as much as it's going to pain me, I don't think I can afford to play Vile this turn. Can I? They might just start wastelanding us out, so I really want to get these... we'll attack first. I do really want to play these before we get wastelanded and can't cast it anymore. Ooh. That's fine. We'll let him counter it. I want to save Force of Will for like Renin 6 if they go to play that. So this might actually be Grixis. No, I don't. Oh, no, it's 4 colors. They just showed us all 4. So this is definitely the Renin 6 deck, yeah. And like I said, we definitely need to counter this card. And hope that they don't have another Force. See, look, it all worked out in the end. Now we're protected against Wasteland. Actually, I probably... Well, it might have been greedy to play that Aether Vial there. Because if they... I don't know if this deck is playing Daze. I don't think it is. But It might have been incorrect to play the Vial, because now if they have days, then we can't counter it. Or we can't pay for it, so. This is okay. If they have another one of these, though, we're going to have trouble. Oh, that's good. I don't really want to adapt it yet, because Silvergill is fine here. They might just be stuck with a bunch of 1-mana cantrips in hand now. Oh, that's fantastic. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put Silvergill into play first. I'm going to play out my hand here. Because if I draw a land with it, I want to be able to... I think about adapting this, maybe. Don't think Echoing Truth is something I really need here. Really, the thing is, this deck does have answers to deal with this Chalice in it. Like, I think they play like 2 Culligan's Command and like 1 or 2 Abrupt Decays. So I want to try to kill them before they have a chance to find anything to deal with it. So that's why I want to I want to attack them for as much as possible while I still can. Alright, and I think they'll probably just concede to this. It seems unlikely that they're going to find... I mean, I guess they'd have to find, like, Toxic Deluge or something. Go to 2? No, they had nothing. I don't even know if they played Deluge in their main deck, to be honest. But, alright, that's kind of how we wanted to draw that up, so that was good. This is a Plague Engineer deck, though. I don't believe Echoing Truth is that useful here. Might want the Dismembers, though. The other thing is, like, Benthic Biomancer is probably not as good versus Plague Engineer. Like, this is still a Delver deck, and I think they have stuff like Grim Arcanist. Or our Dreadhorde Arcanist, maybe. Let me see if I can just verify what this list looks like. Let's see. Yeah, so they have Dreadhorde Arcanist, Ren and 6. They do have 4 days in their deck, so playing the Vial was probably a little greedy there. Maybe I should have not done that. Looks like, yeah, Plague Engineer in the sideboard. Alright, so what do we want to do here? Benthic Biomancer probably has to come out, because it can die to Ren and 6 pretty easily. Bring in the Dismembers. I guess maybe like 2 Force of Negations. So I really want to keep Ren and 6 off the board. Their deck is pretty terrible. Yeah, if they just are sitting there behind a Chalice that they can't do anything about, so I think that's where I want to keep them. They have Tarmogoyfs in the deck, so Trickster's actually fine. I'm okay with Silvergill Adept being here. It is a deck that the games will go longer, I think. It's not like combo or anything where they're going to try to win by turn 3 or 4. So, and in grindy games, you want a card draw, so everything else seems okay. Yeah, I can't really cut any lands either, because they are still a wasteland deck, so we need to keep them. And True Name Nemesis is a necessary evil still. Alright, we'll just do it like this. This is reasonable. You have a curve that does things. They could Thoughtseize, like, force a will, and then just, like, play Wrenn and 6 and kill this, though. I think we have to keep it and just hope for the best. Alright, so Ponder, yep. That's good. They're not playing anything, like, important until there's no, like, Delver or anything in turn 1, so hopefully the Force will be more relevant. Alright, pass. Now, if they play Wrenn and 6, I'll probably have to force that. Ooh, that's good. Merfolk. Let's make sure they can't daze this. I will show them the other Silvergill Adept. And that might get pitched to force. Depends. Oh, Chalice is good. Alright. So what are you doing? You're gonna, like, brainstorm or something here? This is shaping up to be pretty okay. Sure, you can Pyroblast. I'm not worried about that. They chose to shuffle with Ponder, so maybe their hand is not looking that great. Probably what if they just play like a Tarmogoyf or something, that's fine. No. We have to try to fight over this, I think. That card is very dangerous to us, because it means, like, yeah, we can't draw anything with Silvergill, so it's useless anyway, but it's also a 3/3, and the turn makes Dismember actively pretty bad. I think here I'm going to play Mutavault. They might play like Wasteland and blow it up, but if that's the case, so be it. I also feel if they had Force, they probably would have protected that, so. So here, if they play like Dreadhorde Arcanist, that would be fantastic, because we can just dismember it. Or even if they play like Plague Engineer, that would be good. That's not great. I mean, you can gain control of Chalice of the Void if you want, but I think they're just gonna loot too. Yep. Probably just ditch a bunch of 1-drops that they can't use right now. We gotta kill this thing fast, though. Thoughtseize and Inquisition. Yeah, those seem pretty bad right now. So that did fix our hand a little bit. How do we want to do this? I think what's going to happen is we're going to play Coralhelm. We're also going to attack Jack Faden. So let's attack Dak down so that way we can guaranteed kill it next turn. Then we can spend a bunch of mana leveling up Coralhelm. Make it a 3/3 flying that can kill that thing. then even if they wasteland it, we could still just like make it a 3/3 and still play Trickster. That's okay. Well, I mean, we can just Trickster it down. That's not the worst. And then later on, if we have to, we have Dismember. Discarded 2 Brainstorms. Alright. It looks like they're getting hit pretty hard by this Chalice. Lord of Atlantis is great, because that means now the only thing we have to be worried about is Abrupt Decay. So let's play the Waterlogged Grove. We will play Lord of Atlantis. We'll kill Dak Faden here. Actually, you know what? If they Abrupt Decay this, then that's fine. We can just Dismember that in response. This is kind of testing the waters to see if they have decay. We'll take 5 off this if we have to Dismember the Baleful Strix, but I think that it'll be worth it. Because they might try to decay Lord and then just... Well, no, they're not going to do that. Why'd you shuffle? Alright. We're actually threatening to attack them for a lot of damage next turn. Let's see. Alright, how do we want to do this? Can animate Mutavault, level this up twice. So it'll have Island Walk and Flying. We still have Dismember up for this thing if we do that. That's a little greedy though, right? Maybe I'd rather just leave Trickster up and otherwise just sacrifice the Grove. So I might play Trickster at the end of their turn. So do that. Leave up Trickster and Dismember and just attack them for 6. Yeah, that still threatens to kill them next turn, I believe. Because then we can... Because then we'll have 3, 6, 9, 10, 11 damage. Yeah, alright. I think this plays around the most things. We can also level up Coral Helm if we need to. I get the impression their hand is not very good, so... Alright, they might just concede now. So now we can tap this down and just attack for lethal. It's very hard to imagine what they might have here. So how do I want to do this? Can level this up. Do that. I think this is going to do it. They might have Abrupt Decay still. Snapcaster Mage, okay. You can block Lord of Atlantis, but you don't have anything that you can actually cast. Okay, that's not a winning plan yet. Yeah, alright, we did it. And Coral Helm leveling up is what allowed us to win that game, so... There we go, it was 4-color Delver with Ren and 6. I think that it's a little bit closer for them than it might have been before because they have stuff like Abrupt Decay and Plague Engineer in their deck, but I think overall it's still a reasonably good matchup for us. Alright, let's get in there. Well, on the draw. Alright, what have you... Close, 4-3. This hand is fine. You have Vile, Force of Will, True Name Nemesis. These are like the 3 power cards of the deck. I think this is a good keep. Let's see what they show us. Well, maybe they'll show us something eventually. C'est à toi. It's your turn. Oh no, not like this. Oh fuck. This is Elves. Alright, yeah, that's happening. This is so bad for us. We need Chalice like immediately. Elves is one of the worst matches that we can possibly face. Like their plan is just so much better than ours. We need Chalice of the Void. If we draw Chalice in like the next turn or two, there's a chance because we do have Force of Will for like the Glimpse of Nature or the Natural Order. But it's gonna be incredibly hard to like beat Elves, I think. Fuck. And this is another deck that probably has Plague Engineer in the sideboard. Alright. I don't know why they're like taking so long for this though. Let's see. What's their sideboard look like? Collector Oath, Assassin's Trophy, Abrupt Decay, Veil of Summer. Alright, well, so maybe we don't have to be... I mean, they don't really need Plague Engineer against any deck, to be honest. Like, it's a card they can play if they want to, but I doubt that they really need to. And I think that it's likely one of these True Names is getting pitched to this Force of Will. Because I don't see us living long enough for that to matter. Yeah, attack first, so that way when you cast your spell, you untap. I mean, if all they're going to do is just cast Nettle Sentinels, that's fine. We can theoretically defeat this. Well, now that plan's going to get a lot harder. So they have 1 mana left still. I think I have to force the Heritage Druid. What do I get rid of here? You know what? Maybe the plan is just going to be I'm going to have to tick Vile up to 3 and just rely on True Name to get there. Alright, we're going to do that. These things are beefy and I don't want to be trading with... I want to just, like, have some chance of winning, and I think this is a good way to do it. Hope they don't... Yeah, okay, so if they had Glimpse of Nature, they were hoping to go off that turn by making their mana engine online, then so be it. It's fine. Here, though, we can Violent Benthic Biomancer and adapt it, and then try to maybe trade with one of these if they attack. And they will almost definitely attack first. Hopefully we don't have to play... Well, the only thing is if we have to play the Mutavault, they may not attack first. So I'm guessing they have something like Glimpse of Nature and 2 creatures in hand right now. And I mean, that's not good, but I mean, Heritage Druid plus the Glimpse is the combo, because they would just make like infinite mana chaining these things off. And clearly they don't have another Heritage Druid, because if they did, they would have just played it and continued to go for it. So I think it was correct to force that. Chalice, I think, is still the best card to draw right now. That's not bad. I'm not going to show them the Biomancer. Let them think that I'm far away from this. Oh, that's actually fine. I will trade this if they attack, which I doubt that they're going to. Ooh, that's interesting. Unless the rest of their hand is just poop. I don't think that was a terribly good attack for them. That's fine. I mean, okay, so they have 2 cards left. Presumably one of them is a Glimpse. Dryad Arbor, okay, so they can make 3 mana. So what are your cards right now? They might go, yeah, like, they're also getting close to a point where they might, Natural Order for, like, Crater Hoof Behemoth or something of that sort. Which I believe has Trample, so it's incredibly dangerous. No, it only has haste. It doesn't have trample, so that's fine. Alright, so let's Violin, Benthic Biomancer, because we probably need to adapt it next turn. Unless we draw another blue source, in which case we can play True Name and then also have Trickster up. All in all, this could be going a lot worse for us. Like, we're not dead yet, and it's what, turn 3, so that's always a plus against Elves. But if I don't draw a land, I'm definitely taking Vial up to 3 for these guys. That's actually fine. All this does is untap a creature. I don't think there's any chance that they're blocking this, so... So get in our 1 damage while we still can. We do have the adapt if we need to force a will something. We can try to go for it. Now they do have enough mana to go for Natural Order if they find it. It was also possible to upkeep, try to Trickster this down. But I think what's better here is waiting for them to attack, and then Violin Master, and then potentially block with Master and Mutavault on something. Yeah, no attacks, that's probably fine. So I think here we'll just adapt. See what we find. No, this makes things a little bit more difficult. Yeah, I guess what we're going to do is we're just going to We'll keep Violin too because we do have another Lord, and Lords are how you're going to win this. Right? We are still very dead if they have natural order, though. It's 4 mana, they can sack one of these things, get Crater Hoof, and then that's gonna still attack for a lot of damage. That's pretty useless. The question here is, do I want to attack with Mutavault or leave it back? Fuck. It's gonna give everything at least like +4/+4 if they can find it. At the same time, if I animate an attack, that would be... I don't think it's not lethal yet, and they don't have the trick act. They don't have Wirewood Symbiote online yet. I'm not super worried at the moment. Let's see what the alternative is if I attack with this, and then it's 4, 4, and 3. So it's 11. That would put them to 6. That means they probably have to block everything next turn. Alright, well, I don't think that we're going to win otherwise. We need to have them try to not block as much damage as possible here. Just go for the throat. I could wait until after blocks to do that, but I actually am going to do this first because I want them to know that they're throwing things away so they're less inclined to, like, try to trade, I guess. I'm hoping to convince them to just take the damage and hope that they can win next turn, because my plan is I don't want them to be able... I need them to try to go for it and fail, and then I can kill them the following turn. Because this is a pretty reasonable clock as is. Now we can get to a point where True Name can theoretically just kill him. Alright, I will F6 their turn. They are either going to have it or they're not going to, so... If they have natural order, we're just going to die. Two cards. Yeah, that's bad. Oh, they just have Crater Hoof in hand. Green Sun Zenith for Crater Hoof. Yeah. Well, I don't think that there was any way we could know that they were going to have... Like, if that happened, there was no way we could play around that, so we die. They were either going to do that or not, so I was just trying to put ourselves in a situation where we either kill them or they die. Alright, well, Chalice is actually fine in this. We do want Chalice, and we need to probably keep the forces. True Name is both good and bad at the same time. This is probably a matchup, though, where... I don't know if Echoing Truth actually does very much. You know what? This might also be a match where Silvergill is not terribly good either. Maybe Benthic Biomancer is not. The only reason I would consider Ben is just to keep the aggro curve online. Do I want Bend at all, or do I want to... I could maybe try Echoing Truth to bounce their shit, but... No, I think I'm going to do it like this. Force of Negation just to counter the spells, because the spells are really... If they resolve them, then you lose. This hand is not going to beat Elves. It's just not. We have to try harder. This could. If we draw another land, we're probably in good shape, and if we don't draw another land, we're probably not. So I think what we do here is put... it's got to be like either, what, Silvergill or Force of Negation, I think. Well, I think once we get to 2 mana, I don't think this matters that much. But we really need to draw it. They mulligan to 6. I think I'm going to keep that. This is a very big risk. I'm going to say if we can draw a second land, this is not going to really matter that much regardless, but we might... I'm probably going to have to pitch Force to Force. I don't know. Or, I mean, even if I have to pitch, like, Lord of Atlantis to Force, that's still okay, I guess. Alright, well, let's pray that we draw a land the next 2 turns. Because we need Chalice on against them very early to stop them. Green Sun. Yeah, they're gonna get Dryad Arbor. That's fine. I'm not concerned about the mana dorks right now. Alright, well, swing and a miss. This is a really bad matchup, and I feel like we need a card like this to resolve, and if we don't get this, then we just are going to lose anyway. We're not going to grind out a long game against Elves. We either have to do something unfair to shut them down, or we're just going to die. So, if we lose because we don't draw a land, we lose because we don't draw a land. We could have maybe mulliganed one more time, but at some point the odds just kind of have to be in your favor, and we are definitely countering this. Exile Coral Helm because we're very far from using the mana for anything productive right now. Please. Pretty, please, Magic. Just one time. Just... Alright. We are in the game. This means we actually have a chance. Alright, let's see if we can get there. Yep. We have to keep Force online for Natural Order in case they do something like that. Also, probably Green Sun Zenith is a concern. So next turn, I think we really want to draw any blue card so we can play this other Lord. Because I don't... if I don't draw another... If I don't draw another land, or like another blue card, then I'm probably just not going to cast the Lord of Atlantis. I'll just hold up Force of Negation because I want to hard cast it. The part of the problem is like they can still Green Sun Zenith and try to get Reclamation Sage to blow up Chalice. So we do have to be mindful of that, which means any Green Sun for 3 or greater has to get forced. And they can do it right now if they have it. However, their attacks are not very good into this because, yeah. I really want to draw a blue card so that way I can play Lord and still have this up. Otherwise, I don't... Well, I mean, I'm still going to attack regardless, because if they trade these two up, that's perfect. Now, alright, so now we have something to exile. So now our attacks are fantastic. They can chump block if they want to, but I don't think that they're going to. Alright, we have a good chance this game. About as good as it's going to get. Chalice and Force Protection, so we have enough power on board to try to kill them in like a couple turns. So we can just draw more blue cards, we'll be fine. And this is actually good too, because I can end step Trickster. Because all the important cards we're going to counter are sorcery speed. So I don't even need to play anything this turn. Why are you debating this? Like, there's no reason for you to attack. Like, they probably just have a bunch of 1-drops in hand right now, and that's good for us. That's fantastic, actually. Alright, let's attack first. I mean, he doesn't have any black mana, so he doesn't even have Abrupt Decay online. So the Lords can attack, then we can play Biomancer, hold up Force with the Trickster, and then if they don't do anything, we can flash in Trickster, and then I think that should just be good. That'll be very close to death, if not actually killing them. Like, their best case is like chump blocking with the Dryad Arbors, which is not where they want to be. Yep. So that does put lethal into play. So blocking's now relevant, and I think Trickster down 1 puts even more lethal in play. So yeah, I think if they don't add any more creatures on the board and they don't do anything, this Trickster should just kill them. Because then, no matter what they block, they'll still take enough damage to die. They can block Trickster and still take 9. There's a reasonable chance that they might think that they have one more turn to try to draw something, so they won't do anything drastic here. But even if they do, we can just force and then attack, and then they have to start chump blocking, so... What are you doing? It's a lot of mana. Natural Order. So they can find Progenitus with this, so we're going to counter this. Alright, sick. So, yeah, then they knew at that point they're going to have to chump block with Dryad Arbor, which means they're down to just 2 basic forests, and there's no way they can come back. So, that was beautiful. Dismember is like not the kind of card you want against a deck that's trying to play 20 creatures in one turn. It's okay, but I don't know. I mean, we could bring it in, but you have to remember sometimes the elf, like, their plan B is to just attack you with like 10 1/1s, and like that can just be enough sometimes. So losing 4 life to kill off a 1/1 is not a winning plan against their plan B. Over, we're on the draw. Do I want to make any changes? Like, do I still believe in stuff like Coral Hum Commander on the draw? It's tough. It has flying, which means that it can attack through their stupid Wirewood Symbiote. So that is worth mentioning. I don't think I'd change anything here. I think this is really hard, but I think I'm gonna keep it like this. Like, the Biomancers are but I think everything else is pretty close at that point. Alright, come on. Can we steal a game? Let's steal this game versus Elves. We got pretty lucky last time to draw the land in time. The problem is that we're on the draw. We have a force, but we only have 1 land, and we're not ever casting this, which means if they also have something like Abrupt Decay, then we lose immediately. No, I'm not willing to keep that. This is a much better hand. We're going to keep this. And I guess here we just put a Chalice in the bottom. Alright. So we can go turn 1 Vial, turn 2 Chalice, and hope that that's fine. Yeah, this hand is infinitely better. It has everything that we want in it. Mana sources, counter magic, and the card that says, please let me win the game against your deck. Sure. And we drew another one anyway. Wow, alright. Which means it's going to be safe to just stick 2 Chalice on 1s, because now even if they Green Sun Zenith, they won't be able to blow up both of them. The only thing that sucks is we're not going to have a lot of pressure, but maybe because we have the Vial, we can at some point throw Waterlogged Grove away for a card. Sure. It means we're going to be vulnerable to the plan B, though, if we don't start drawing creatures. Yeah, that's fine. So they have 5 power in play. Alright, well that's helpful. I'm more likely to throw Benthic Biomancer away to force a will. Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah. Sucks, but it is what it is. So I think we need to play Ben and then tick Vial up and then probably put Master in play. We're at the point where I think Waterlogged Grove has to get cracked, because we need another blue card for this, because I think we need both of these in play to not die. This Chalice is not getting cast anytime soon. We have 1 Chalice, and that's got to be good enough for right now. We got to stem the bleeding against this shit. No! Well, actually, this is fine, because we can still adapt Benthic Biomancer. I'll just throw away another Chalice. We scryed 1 on the bottom, and then we had 1 in hand, and then we've drawn 2 Chalices. We don't need this many Chalices. Alright, sure. Visionary is good. That's their version of Silvergill Adept. Except instead of having to show us an elf, it's just a 1/1. That's the trade-off. However, if they... Alright, well, that's dangerous for us. adding 6 mana. Interesting. No attacks because they know that we have Violent 2, and Benthic Biomancer is still a thing. So we'll adapt this first and probably discard a Vial for anything else. Even another land at this point would be good. And then next turn probably crack this. Oh, beautiful. Come on, more blue cards, please. That's fine, actually. So, I guess what we have to be concerned about is, do we want to attack here? I think we can actually make a reasonable attack right now. I want to draw another card first, because I want to know if I have another blue card. Which I do not. See, I don't want to have to use the Master of the Pearl Trident for Force of Will, but I think that the fact that they were going to tap Gaia's Cradle for a ton of mana means that they probably have, like, Crater Hoof Behemoth or something in hand where we want it, so... Which means that we probably need to keep these back on defense in case they decide to start chipping in. But now with Mutavault in play, like, next turn we can maybe start attacking. Carpet of Flowers. Yeah, Chalice of the Void is still here. I don't know what your plan is. It'll give you a ton of mana if Chalice is not stopping you from doing it. 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's what I thought. But now, like, these Nettle Sentinels still can't attack because now Biomancer's a thing. And then we can start attacking with Biomancer, I think, and then Mutavault can still hold the fort down. Unless I want to play this other Chalice, that's possible. Or if we draw True Name, then we probably are going to play that. I don't see any good attacks at the moment. Like, you have to just hang tight, yeah. Like, even I don't really have great attacks. Alright, well, that's still good, because now True Name means I can pick him. Get in with this. If they want to trade 2 creatures for that, that's fine. I'm fine with exchanging Biomancer for Nettle Sentinel right now, because it weakens Gaia's Cradle. And it also means they have less of an aggro plan at that point. Yeah, I don't think they can block. But they do have 4 cards in hand and a billion mana, so... Alright. That's gotta be a good sign. I feel like if they had natural, or if they had like Natural Order, or, fuck, what's the other one? Green Sun Zenith, they would have cast it that turn. So I think that their hand is just a bunch of 1-drops that they can't use right now. This is good. So let's... can animate Mutavault and Benthic by... So what's the most they can attack me for? I wouldn't block these. So I would block this. So it mean 2, 4, 6, 7. Put me to 6. It's also assuming they don't block this. And let's see, if they don't block this, that's 6. Yeah, it still kills them in 2 turns. So I think maybe the best plan is to just, again, try to kill them fast. Because if they have like another Crater Hoof or something like that, I need to put their life total low enough where I can kill them in like 1 turn. So then an all-out attack still leaves them dead anyway. They have to just have an unfair win. And second main, I'll play another Chalice and Void just in case. Because if they go down to 10, can maybe put them in range of like True Name killing them. Maybe they can start making chump blocks. That's fine. Now, he's only at 5 minutes, so that's good for us. So he goes, all right. So now he's on a 2-turn clock. So he didn't block anything. All right. So next turn, I think we probably just attack with True Name, Mutavault, Biomancer again, because then they have to block these 2. Nope, we just conceded. All right. Stole a game against Elves, or stole a match, I should say. It's incredibly tough to beat Elves, I think, but we got lucky there that they just ran out of gas because we had Chalice 2 games in a row. That's tough. So that's 3 non-blue decks that we've had to play against so far. This is making the aggro plan look a little bit better with Simic. Putting the Lords on the field is usually how you beat the green decks, just by make a bunch of like 4/4s or 5/5s or something that they can't reasonably block well. Excuse me. And that's usually a good way to do it. We can sort of approximate that plan with Coral Helm, but it kind of feels like that plan might be a little bit slower than where we want to be against some of these decks. I don't know. Let's see how this goes. I guess we're just, maybe if like a nice Miracles match would be good for Game 5. I would like to end this good. Come on. Come on, pairing gods. Be kind, please. Alright, on the draw. I'm nervous looking at this. I'm just like anticipating seeing this hand. Oh no. I mean, it's got Aether Vial and Chalice and like it has like all of the good cards. But I mean, because I think because we have Aether Vial, like this is probably keepable. We have 2, so even if they Inquisition 1 away or something, I think this is fine. We'll keep it. This hates against a lot of decks. It just makes us vulnerable to Wasteland. Fuck! This means we're probably up against Death and Taxes. In which case, I'm not going to force a will that, because we need the 2 blue cards in our hand here. Alright. Yeah, this is like definitely Death and Taxes. They'll probably Wasteland our Cavern and, yeah, play like Mother of Runes. Oh, that's good. If we can draw another land, that would be fantastic. Oh, look. Aren't we so good at magical cards? I guess what we're just hoping for is that they don't have, like, Phyrexian Revoker. But they can just tick it up and put Stoneforge Mystic in play now, and that's going to be rough. Stoneforge plus Mother Runes is a very potent combo. Yeah, they don't want to attack into Benthic Biomancer. That would be terrible for them. They probably are thinking like Curse Catcher, but same difference. It's a 1/1 that trades with it. Well, I guess I just pass here. Stoneforge is a problem still, but at least we have True Name on the way. So here's the thing, if they put Phyrexian Revoker out, we're in trouble, so I'm actually going to put Silvergill Adept in play, so we can try to draw the land. Alright. Because here's a spot where they could just Revoker Aether Vial. If they have Revoker, naming Aether Vial would probably be very smart. Because with only one land, then it effectively means we can't put anything else into play. Thalia. Alright, Thalia's fine. So, yeah, once you pass priority for them to put the Revoker in play, then you've kind of lost your chance. So I wanted to make sure that, in case that's what they were going after, I wanted to have some chance of trying to find a land so we could not just, like, lose to this. So this also probably represents Flicker Wisp. See if they're going to do this before we take up our vials. No, yeah, you can tap the land, that's fine. Yep. Attacking does not really do anything here because of Mother Runes. Three mana, I don't think there's anything that we're concerned about. It's probably just Flicker Wisp. Which they might force our hand in some of these. So we'll see what they target. Alright, that's fine, because now we still have Force of Will. It's actually kind of convenient because now our Aether Vial will come back and we can start ticking that one up to 2 again. Recruiter of the Guard. This searches for Stoneforge Mystic. Oh, Thalia. Yeah, okay, well, then, yeah, we're fucked. Because that's right, Thalia is still a thing. I really wanted to counter that, but now he knows I have Force because it just... Oh, fuck, no! No, 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 no. They have main deck Plague Engineer. Jesus fucking Christ! Oh. Oh my god. Alright, well, these masters are going to be a little bit important, I guess. No, we're taking 3. There's not really any reason to try to trickster it down right now. Oh, fuck. What are they going to do now? Yeah! Once they found main deck Plague Engineer, we were wrecked. Alright, that's fine. Well, we're going to lose to Death and Taxes. That's just all there is. And I just hit cancel. I just, like, totally threw this away because, like, there's no... I don't even want to try anymore. Like, this is a board state that no matter what I do, I am never going to beat this. Just... I should just, like, concede now. They just wrecked our entire board. I can't come back from this. Like, no matter... Nothing I do is going to do anything. Because they can just, like... This has Death Touch. Like, they can give any of these things protection. like, even if I put a bunch of creatures in play, it's not going to stop them from, like, hitting us in the air and then, like, giving it pro blue every time. I don't know. I guess I'll try. I shouldn't have activated the Aether Vial, though, because that just gave him the window to do that. That was a mistake. I'm just, like, so tilted by this being in the goddamn main deck. They don't even have any black mana sources. That's so unfair. I can't even attempt to block these things. Like, if they have swords to plowshares and just kill this, then I lose all my shit. Yeah, there's no way I can combat this. It's just not going to happen. Sure. I guess if we draw another true name, we need to put it in play. Ugh. Alright, we are not beating this. We lose. Fuck it. I cannot fucking believe they play a main deck black card in their mono white deck. That's insane. That's now 3 times that we've run into Plague Engineer in this league, though. That's ridiculous. Alright, well, Chalice of the Void is not good here, and because of Plague Engineer, Benthic Biomancer is not terribly good, and honestly, neither is Silvergill Adept, but there's nothing else I really want to take in at the moment. I could bring in Caracas, but they don't... Thalia probably gets sided out versus us anyway, so it doesn't really matter. That just crushed my soul. and it's another non-blue deck. Like, this is entirely, like, what I was afraid of and, like, why I wanted to play Simic and Legacy, because this sort of league is what I actually see more often in paper than like the other kinds of leagues that we've normally seen in this channel. I feel like this is more representative of paper Magic than anything else that we've done. So, and I think in that case, Simic probably is better. This is so bad. Like, this is still gonna get wrecked by Plague Engineer, but we have to keep it. We have no, like, way to deal with Stoneforge Mystic, like, no Vial or anything. With only one Lord, like, it's not good, but we don't have the room to just be greedy right now. Against taxes, you just kind of have to keep whatever hand is playable and hope for the best. The Recruiter of the Guard is so brutal. I mean, I guess I see it because they're just going to try to take Vial up to 3, and then they just put one Plague Engineer in main deck so they can tutor for it. I mean, that seems fine. But, Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah. Alright, well, here's the plan. We're just going to put as many Lords in the field as we can. The only way to beat this deck is to just, like, aggro them out before they can get any sort of control plan going. Okay, it does have a swamp in his deck. That's neat. I'm still going to play Master of the Pearl Trident because if they play Plague Engineer next turn, then it's just going to kill our board anyway. And then if I have the opportunity next turn, I will play True Name Nemesis. fully. That's where I wanted to be in life. So what could happen right now? They might have Thalia in hand. So I think what we'll do is we'll attack with Benthic Biomancer. I think Thalia probably gets boarded out against us, but just in case, let's not take chances. Alright. Means, yeah, they did have Thalia, so if we attacked with Master, it was going to die. Which means now what they can do is equip Sword to Thalia, attack, we can't block it, then Violin, Plague Engineer, kill off our board, and we lose. And they have the Wasteland for the Mutavault, so there's no way that we're ever blocking this. Yep. Just do it. Just end my life, please. Sarah Avenger. Ugh, alright. I guess you can cast that. What does this mean? Like, I really, really do not want to play this Silvergill Adept because we are so fucking vulnerable right now. And we're also getting attacked for 7 next turn and potentially taking 2 to the face. Like, we're on a 2-turn clock. Our opponent is not on a 2-turn clock. We can't attack with the Mutavault. I guess if there's nothing we can draw with the Silvergill that's going to matter, maybe we could Trickster this down. And it has Flying and Vigilance. I mean, this is just going to still kill us anyway. What's going to happen? We're going to take 7 and go to 11. Alright, well, Silvergill, please draw us a land. Alright, let's... Oh, I can't cast it. Alright, never mind. So I guess if we draw another land, then Venser might keep us alive for a little bit longer. Yep, never mind. That plan's offline. We're going to die very quickly to this card, which means we have to Trickster this down next turn. But at any point, if they just draw Plague Engineer, we lose. So I imagine you probably just, yeah, face me with it. Because this also looks like you can kill me next turn if I don't do anything about this. Yeah. I have to use Trickster in order to deal with this, or otherwise I'm dead. Can put him to 8, but that's not enough. Benthic Biomancer, good choice. Even if I draw another land next turn, I mean, maybe Venser's enough. If I can bounce the sword in combat, that yes, I have to block like everything though. Like you still have to attack. Like just dome my face again. I'm drawing a million cards. Yeah, kill Trickster. That seems like a good plan. Sure. Aether Vial's fine. That's not enough. Yeah, we're dead. There's nothing we can do here. I guess what? We have Dismember, right? I cannot cast Silvergill and Dismember in the same turn, though. I can cast True Name Nemesis, which does nothing. Can attack, put him to 5. I can adapt Biomancer. I can play Silvergill. None of these are things that are going to stop us from dying to Thalia or like Sword of Fire and Ice on Sarah Avenger. We lose. Alright. Good game, Taxes player. You really showed us the business. Alright, well, that was a really, really rough league. That was probably the hardest league that we faced so far in Legacy. I don't know if I'm a fan of the waterlogged groves. I think that there were, especially today, we saw too many times where Wasteland was a huge problem. So I think having more basic lands is probably where we want to be at. Yeah, we didn't come up against like the graveyard deck, so we didn't get to really test Leyline of the Void, but I think everything else is mostly okay. I guess the only thing I question is maybe if we really do need 3 Force of Negation in the sideboard, maybe one of those can be like something else, like a gut shot or something that will maybe help against these matches a little bit better. I don't know. I'm not quite sure how we want to approach it. I think that Coral Helm is probably not quite as good as Merfolk Mistbinder is, so maybe we do want to try that. That kind of has a similar problem, though, where the mana base is not really much better. The only difference is that it has more Lords in it and Kamena Speaker instead of Benthic Biomancer. So, but it has the advantage of being able to defeat like Death and Taxes better because Mother Runes can't give it protection from green and blue at the same time, and there's also Return to Nature, which can blow up the equipment. So there's reasons to consider that. Yeah, otherwise, like, I think this card is fine. Like, if I'm going to play mono blue, I think that we definitely want this. I don't know if we want all 4 of it, but definitely at least, like, 2 or 3 of it. Maybe we could have one other flex slot that does something better. I'm not quite sure. I don't know, I have to play around with it a little bit more, but otherwise, I think the list is reasonable, but not, not versus the decks that we played against today. That was just insane, so... Alright, well, I will have more content for you once I get back next week. I hope everybody enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys next time. Alright, bye.